Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
President Biden spoke a short while ago with Prime Minister Netanyahu. The leaders discussed the situation in Gaza. The president emphasized that the strikes on humanitarian workers and the overall humanitarian situation are unacceptable. He made clear the need for Israel to announce a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers. He made clear that U.S. policy with respect to Gaza will be determined by our assessment of Israel's immediate action on these steps. He underscored as well that an immediate ceasefire is essential to stabilize and improve the humanitarian situation and protect innocent civilians, and he urged Prime Minister Netanyahu to empower his negotiators to conclude a deal without delay to bring the hostages home. The two leaders also discussed public Iranian threats against Israel and the Israeli people. President Biden reaffirmed the United States' strong support for Israel in the face of these threats and our commitment to Israel's security. Right now, there is no higher priority in Gaza than protecting civilians, surging humanitarian assistance, and ensuring the security of those who provide it. Israel must meet this moment.
Okay, so that was just moments ago. The President of the United States and Benjamin Netanyahu, the crazy one, apparently very tense. Yeah, I guess there was a lot of yelling. There's been a lot of yelling. There's been a lot of yelling between our Secretary of Defense and their Secretary of Defense. There's been a lot of yelling, but with meetings. There's been a lot of canceling of meetings. There's been a lot of and it's all because. And here's the large picture. Everybody's like, why are we sending weapons? And what has nothing to do with anything but Iran. Okay? If you can understand that it's all about Iran, Hamas, Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Iranian proxies, Houthis, Iranian proxies. It's all about Iran. And unless and until there is some sort of a meeting of the minds between the United States and the Iranian mullahs, this is the lay of the land in the Middle East. This is the way it's going to be as far as weapons to Israel. And it's so almost unacceptable to say that because my heart is broken because Netanyahu, you could say he's a cowboy. He's a murderous SOB. Okay, there's something wrong with him. In the same way that people looked at Donald Trump and said, the United States has lost its way. And people would say, no, the United States is still a reliable ally. It's the president of the United States who's nuts. He's a psycho. He's a narcissist. He's trying to stay out of jail. He's doing things, to make money. He's using the presidency in an illicit manner. That is what is going on over there in Israel. And it's horrendous, and people keep trying to explain this. And unless and until there are new elections, which now the Israelis themselves, what's his name, Benny Gantz, who was over here. Remember, he came over here violating, Benjamin Netanyahu's trust and confidence and came over here to meet with Biden. And I said, oh, there's the next Prime Minister of Israel, Benny Gantz, right? Now, I know a lot of people don't want to look at the reasons why. They just want to look at what happened. And what happened is so disgusting and so bizarre and so inexplicable to a normal, decent human because the execution, which is a good word for this, of this war is being done by a psycho. So Benny Gantz, who came over here and betrayed Benjamin Netanyahu about a month ago, and that's when Schumer went on the floor, okay? Do you remember Schumer went on the Senate floor, and Schumer said, we need new elections. Do you remember that? And the ultra right wing in this country said he hates Israel, and Donald Trump started, saying he's an anti-Semite. Chuck Schumer, yeah, he's an anti-Semite, and that Jewish people hate themselves. Jewish people hate their religion. Meanwhile, on the back end, he's telling Netanyahu, go ahead and nuke Gaza. If you think you're going to get a better result with a Trump presidency than you're getting now with a Biden presidency, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. And to think they're the same is also a mistake. The only reason why we support anything to do with Israel is because Israel fights the enemy, Iran. They fight their proxies, and then they fight Iran. And so this, attack that Netanyahu made into Syria, into the Iranian embassy, right? I think he did it so that he could scream and yell and say, now they're going to retaliate against us. You can't not send us weapons now in our hour of need. And so Biden got on the phone with him today, and there's a readout of what they said because he's Joe Biden. If this had been Donald Trump, you would know nothing about what they said on the phone, nothing at all. And if anybody was a whistleblower and told you what was said on the phone, it would probably be, I'll send you weapons if you give me dirt on Joe Biden. Because that's what happened with the Ukrainian crap, and we don't get readouts from him. He never says, why would I tell you what I'm talking to our enemies about? Because he's an ally, that's why. And because everybody needs to know who to vote for, that's why. Because you're just a representative. You represent not even our choice, but the Electoral College's choice. So anyway, I was listening to Jose Andres. He gave an interview to Reuters last night after we read his op-ed yesterday to you and, characterized him as the best of the best among us, right? And it's true. He is. He is. And his organization is unbelievably altruistic and selfless and organizes in the face of complete and utter chaos, whether, again, it's an earthquake in Haiti or it's a hurricane in the United States or in Puerto Rico, or if it's a war in Ukraine, an attack by Russia in Ukraine, or it's refugees fleeing Ukraine in Poland, or it's people in Gaza. And the stuff that they do, I swear to God, I wish I had logistic capability I can cook, pretty good at it, but any service that I could lend to him, any service that would be of service to him, I would do it. I would totally freaking do it. But he's saying that, look, this wasn't oops, we were hit by the wrong bomb. This was a 1.8 kilometer, about a mile trek, okay, from northern, and we know this because we knew it yesterday, that it was a 3-car caravan, that the cars were in complete and total contact with the Israeli military. Well, herein, I think, lies the dilemma. The Israeli military, it could be, for all you know, for all I know, and this is why I said, let's let the fog of war clear and let's find out. Because if this was intentional targeting, which I just cannot make myself believe, that even crazy man Netanyahu would do an intentional targeting of aid workers, of the World Central Kitchen, of Jose Andres, knowing that every single solitary senator, House member, and president of the United States has eaten at one of Jose Andres' restaurants in D.C. because he has a ton of restaurants in D.C. and he is a known person. Everyone knows who he is. Everybody knows what this aid thing is. Everybody knows what he does. People are in awe of what he does. The idea that you could intentionally target him, who is a personal friend, by the way, of Joe Biden's, and get away with it, that makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. So a 19-year-old drone operator, somebody who was nervous because they had just bombed the embassy in Syria, the Iranian embassy in Syria, and taken out Iranian generals, saw a caravan and got bad information, targeted the caravan, all 3 vehicles. But I just cannot believe that Netanyahu said, we're starving these people, kill them, kill the people with the food. It makes no sense. Like, how in the world would he win hearts and minds that way? Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.